This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Good morning. So I'm not going to lie to you, I've got no idea what this week's video is going to be about. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Currently planning the next stage of the winter van life upgrades. One thing I do know, it is cold, and I know that because the windscreen on the inside is frozen. So as you can probably tell, I'm still on my Todd, which is why the van is a bit of a mess because I had to cook last night. Beans on toast, would you believe? Hence the dirty pan. But yeah, big tidy up mission now. Just find your way and try to stay true. Yeah, hiya. I was wondering if I could book my van in so someone could have a look at the suspension for me. Yeah, hiya mate, how you doing? Yeah, Thursday, lovely, thank you. So that is the inside of the van sorted. The outside, as you can see, is absolutely filthy, but I refuse to clean that until the weather clears up and the ground's a bit drier. Plus, it's adventure dirt from our travels around Europe, so I want to leave it on there for a bit. But yeah, all sorted, but I thought I'd quickly show you the park up because I was getting a bit of cabin fever in there anyway. So there's the van right behind me there, and I'm parked next to a lovely car park, which would be ideal, but unfortunately there's a height barrier, but I'll show you what's about. So brace yourself, Northerners. I am back, I'm in the north, and I know I'm definitely in the north because I drove through Norfolk to get here. Norfolk, so the clue is in the name. I'm in King's Lynn, so way up north. I'm going to be going even further up north though, up towards Nottingham. But for now, yeah, up here in the north, parked just on the coast, and it's a decent park up, it's interesting. So just behind me there is a lighthouse. It's called Guy's Head Lighthouse, and I'm right on a river, and on the other side of the river there's another one, identical, well not identical, but two lighthouses directly opposite each other, which are pretty cool. And somewhere called the Wash, and it's another national nature reserve. And for that reason, and the fact there's an air base just over there that is flying planes ever since about 6 o'clock this morning, they've been up and down. I won't be flying the drone yet again. But yeah, it's not a bad place. There's not much here unless you like birds, so bird nerds, top notch. And then this is the view the other way, so you've got the river full of bird life, wildlife, and then this walk that just goes on for absolutely miles. I did it last night. It takes you all the way out to the coast and then carries on going round. But like I say, it is just flat. It is just literally flat. There's nothing. But yeah, decent park up if you've got a dog or you like walking, or like I say, if you're into nature. So yeah, lovely quiet spot. My plan, whoa, yeah, it's muddy. My plan now is to hit the road and head up to, where am I going? I can't remember where I'm going. Sheffield, Nottingham. Head up to Nottingham. One in the same. Head up to Nottingham so that I don't have to do it in the rush hour traffic tomorrow morning. Then I've got a stack of work to do when I get there. So yeah, let's get on the road. Oh, for fuck. So SatNav says 2 hours and 25 minutes. So we all know it's going to be about 3 hours. Let's go. It might not be no crossroad, but it's sure enough for far. Like left to LA or right to New York. So one thing I don't think I've mentioned about this park up is that it is pretty much in a cow field. So last night I got the shock of my life when I heard this noise outside the van, and the van started to move, and I thought someone was trying to break in. No, it was a cow having a scratch up against the wing mirror there. So yeah, that's fun. So we have arrived. I'm not going to lie to you, I have not missed the British traffic one tiny little bit. It took hours to get here and it's dark now, so I can't even show you the park up, but I'll show you in the morning. But what I'm doing now is I'm actually trying to set up a website. Now, most of you will know I'm into my photography, and in particular wildlife photography. And over the last couple of years of doing this YouTube and the Instagram and whatnot, we've been asked quite a lot if we're going to do a calendar or we sell prints, and at the moment we don't, and it's because I don't have anywhere sort of professional looking to showcase my work. I mean, we've got Instagram, but there's also, it's mixed in with like silly selfies of me and Emily doing silly things. So I need a proper website. So I'm gonna, this year, my goal is to get the website set up and do something such as calendars, etc, etc. And to do it, I'm using Squarespace. And Squarespace is the sponsor of this week's video. Now, if you've not heard of Squarespace before, they're basically an all-in-one website building platform. They make it so easy to build a website, which for someone like me who hasn't got the first clue of where to start is extremely helpful. Now, I come from a very practical background, and to be honest with you, up until a couple of years ago, I didn't even know how to use a computer at all. And yes, I've taught myself how to edit videos and photos, and that is about it. So faced with the prospect of actually building a website, the whole thing was quite daunting. Luckily for me, Squarespace have hundreds of very professional looking templates you can choose from, and the drag and drop system is so simple. There's plenty of tutorials as well to walk you through it, and in just a few hours you can have a professional looking website without needing to know anything about coding at all. I'm so pleased with how the website is looking so far. It has been really easy to build. I was proper scared of doing this, but with Squarespace it's been that simple, and I'm hoping that I can use it as a bit of a community for some of you guys as well. And also I'm going to update, maybe put some blog posts on there about photography and whatnot, all my gear and stuff, because I get asked about that a lot. And as a professional digital creator now, I think it's vital that a website is something that I need. If you want to give Squarespace a go, go to squarespace.com/campervibe to get yourself a free trial, and then when you're ready, just use the code campervibe at checkout and get 10% off your first website or domain. Honestly, it is so easy, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys what I've come up with, and you seeing the website itself, because it proper looks like a pro's done it. In fact, if I was a web designer right now and that was my job, I'd be quite scared, but I'm going to try and get as much of this done tonight as I can, because I do want to get it launched fairly soon, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bloody raining. Good morning. We'll go out in a minute. Okay, quick camera change. This should be better. Oh, it's noisy. Noisy in the town. It's bloody stopped raining, isn't it? Okay, so this is the park up. Little car park right slap bang in the middle of Derby. I'm actually in Derby, right next to Nottingham, which is where I'm going tomorrow. And I realised I haven't explained to you lot what the hell I'm doing up here. So tomorrow I'm heading over to Eco Tree headquarters. Why am I walking through the mud? We'll go on the path. Should we go on the path? Yeah, so tomorrow I'm heading to Eco Tree headquarters, and I'm picking up a small electrical upgrade for the van's electrical system and possibly some different batteries, but more on that tomorrow. But today, while I'm up here, I found a garage that will do a full suspension check of the van. So I'm thinking leaf springs as opposed to air suspension. I've heard great things about air suspension, but I've also heard very bad things. So it seems if you've got it and it doesn't go wrong, you love it, but if it goes wrong, it really goes wrong and you hate it. And let's be honest, if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong to my van, isn't it? It's busy in the city. It's busy in the city. Is Derby a city? It's got to be, right? City of Derby. But anyway, before I do all of that, before I go and spend a fortune on new leaves, uprated leaves, I'm going to get the suspension fully looked at, because I could fix all that and there could be something else wrong. So might do that first. Get that done. Slow down, do it sensibly. Right, let's have a look where we're parked. I'll tell you what, if you ignore the sirens, as far as city park ups goes, this one's rather quaint. So this is why it's noisy in the car park. I'm literally parked right next to this very high river, but there's a little bridge. I'm going to see if I can get to the little bridge. So it seems I've got to go over the mud to get to the little bridge, but I'm a bugger. Once I've seen something, I really need to get to it, but I think there's a bloody gate on it. We'll have a look anyway. So that's a real shame, but no doubt someone spent 3 weeks filling in a health and safety docket to stop people walking over that bridge, so that is good news. We are all now safe when we come to Derby. But not a bad park up, right on next to the park, a few quaint little buildings, cricket club behind me. Yeah, ideal, lots of dog walkers, but as to be expected, and I'm parked just there next to another dog walker. But now I need to get on, I need to get to the garage. I've got a 6-minute drive, so shouldn't be too bad, but you know, this is England. Well, that was relatively painless drive, so we've arrived. My God, I'd forgotten how friendly the people of the North are. Really nice chap in there, because I'm half an hour early. I'd allowed for traffic, there wasn't any. And then, yeah, they're going to take it in, and of course I will keep you updated when they're done of what issues I may or may not, definitely have got with my suspension. Okay, so suspension check actually came pretty good. All the shocks are fine, the bump stops are okay, although it is sitting on them at the back, we already know this. So new leaf springs it is. I'm just debating whether I pay someone to do it or I just give it a go myself, but we'll see. I'll think about it. But for now, I'm just at Morrison's because I've been away for what, 10 days now, and supplies are running low, so I'm going to pick up a couple of bits and then move on to tonight's park up. No. Stupid thing. I bloody hate supermarkets. Who are these people that literally walk down an aisle and then just stop? If you're these people, stop it. Here we go then, I find myself in another urban little park up. I'm literally just on the edge of Sheffield, Nottingham. Sorry people from Sheffield and people from Nottingham. Just on the edge of Nottingham, ready to go in. And yeah, not a bad park up. There's a housing estate just behind me there, hopefully you can see that. Got some workout equipment there in case I fancy a bit of a workout in the morning. Not going to happen. And then down there leads to some more of the park and a golf course, so it's quite a nice one actually. Yeah, do like a bit of an urban stealth camp, solo female urban stealth camping. Getting all the keywords in there for the algorithm, they're going to love it. But it's cold, so I'm going back in the van. So I'm just making a cup of tea, and I know what you're thinking, Lou, we've seen you make tea 100 times already, why are we watching it again? And it's because last week, right, I put out a video and it had some pretty sad scenes about the seals and a bit of a rant at the end, and I was expecting a bombardment in the comments of people saying, oh, I don't want to see that and all this sort of thing. But no, I got more negative comments about the colour of my tea than anything else, which I just found was fascinating. And I thought I'd really throw a cat amongst the pigeons now and let you all know I like pineapple on pizza.
Holy moly!
Right then, the boy racers have arrived. So that is me done for outside for today because I'm not getting all my cameras out in such an urban area. So laptop's out because it is van build research time, and if you've ever done a van build before, you will know that I'd say at least 50% of your build time is YouTube videos, blog posts, Facebook groups, research after research after research, and that is what I'm doing now. I'd forgotten how tedious it was, but yeah, researching about the suspension, the electrics, the heat in the tanks, the engine, all these different kind of things. Don't worry, I know this video hasn't been the most engaging, shall we say, of content, but better content will be coming. Tomorrow I'm getting some new blue stuff to go with all my other blue stuff that I've got under the electrical cabinet. It's not real van life tea, you got some blue stuff in there. So that should be interesting to see how that works tomorrow. But sometimes, some weeks, van life, it's just like this. It's not all epic park ups and all the amazing things, and because I want to adapt the van to go and do epic amazing things, there is this week that is just predominantly me driving around the country, getting bits and pieces done and doing research. And on that note, I won't bore you with it any longer, and I will see you all hopefully when we get over to EcoTree tomorrow to upgrade the electrical system. Right then, good morning and welcome to a very cold EcoTree headquarters. I'm a little bit worried because there is a man messing around in Fanny's back doors, but hopefully he's making a few upgrades that's going to improve her slightly a little bit. So we're swapping out these two EcoTree lithium batteries for these two EcoTree lithium batteries, and I know what you're thinking, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but I will walk you through it in a minute. But at the minute, Richard, the head technician here, he is the man that's really in charge, is busy away sorting out my wiring because my wiring wasn't perfect, so he's going to tidy that up a little bit. Okay then, so I know it's very little footage, but the battery switch is done. There's very little space to film under there. But yeah, swapped over the batteries. Now I know what you're thinking, why have you swapped EcoTree lithiums for EcoTree lithiums? And before I go into why, I just want to go over the whole lithium thing a little bit, because I put a video out a couple of weeks ago about all the planned upgrades and talked about how well the batteries did. I've had loads of questions about whether I'd recommend lithiums, and yes I would. I did a whole video a little while back with all the benefits of lithium when we was getting them installed, so I'll leave a link to that in the video description and probably in one of these corners. But also, just to recap, lithiums you can use up to like 80% of their capacity. So in theory you can have the same amount of batteries and have more usable power, or you can have less batteries, which is what we done, to get the same usable power. Now that saves you weight on its own by dropping down a battery size, but because they're like 50% lighter, almost thereabouts, maybe 40 to 50% lighter than AGMs or lead acid, by doing that it saved us a stack of weight. It saved us basically a whole Emily, which I think was like 8 stone, and I'll put whatever that is in kilos on the screen now. I guess why you guys are asking is because you want some real world experience with lithiums out there being used, and one of the biggest things I noticed between the lithiums and our previous AGMs was the fact that the cold weather didn't seem to have any impact on them whatsoever. It says on the technical data sheet I think there might be some impact, but I couldn't see, or we didn't notice, any visible difference when we was parked up in the cold about the usable amp hours we had to use. So for that, for us who were living in the van, massive plus. So we had two 210 amp hour EcoTree lithiums. I've just swapped that for two 100 amp hour lithiums, so that's how confident I am that they're good enough for our needs. Is I've even dropped 20 amp hours just to get these batteries, and these batteries are heated. Now I want to stress that 99.99% of you probably don't need the heated lithium batteries. We ran ours, we was parked up in -12, and we was charging and using ours in -12, and because they're inside the van and we was inside the van, the ambient temperature in the van didn't get to below 0. If it did, all things inside the van would have started freezing, and that wasn't the case. It was all the tanks underneath, if you remember, that started freezing. But I do have a trip planned for next winter where I'm probably going to go down to about -20, 15 -20, and I'm going to be parking the van up and leaving it, going off and doing something else, and then coming back to the van. But when I get back to the van, then I'm expecting certain things to be freezing and the ambient temperature to be less. Then I'm going to start the engine, the B2B is going to come on and try and charge them up, and if they're sat there at below freezing, then I might have a problem, but most people aren't going to need them, so I've swapped them over for that. And again, I get to be the guinea pig and go out and test these things out before you spend your hard-earned cash on them, and they are expensive. Now, a very wise man recently said,
if you think about it, the future is 100% lithium.
Alright, he's not that wise, it was Will, but he's got a point. Everything else is going lithium. So your phones, the fancy pants, electric cars, they're all lithium. Even my drill batteries, they're all lithium, and that's because lithium is just the progressive next stop in battery technology. And although they are costly, the initial cost is soon got back by the amount of extra cycles that you get. So for those of you that are asking if I'd recommend, now that I've done it, now that we've been out and used it, would I recommend lithium? If you can afford to go lithium and you're doing a build that you're going to be using, you know, year in, year out, it's going to save you money in the long run. And like I say, you don't have to have so many batteries to get the same usable amp hour. And I was watching Will's video. The little git got a discount code, so I rang EcoTree and said, come on guys, what's this? So we've snagged you a discount code. I got C-Vibe 10, I think it is, and that's going to get you 10% off. Now, if you're buying a couple of these batteries, 10% is a huge discount. So, yes, I know they're still expensive, but in my opinion, now that we've done both, with us working on the road, being on the road a hell of a lot of the time, I think lithium is definitely, as Will said, the future. So the next upgrade for our electrical system is something I'd never thought I'd install, but there, it's not set in yet properly. I've got it's all wired in, I just need to set it up, but that is a Victron 375 watt inverter. So the reason I've gone for an inverter, and it's only a small one, is purely just for extra charging of laptops and for charging up the Jackery while we're driving and when we're getting good solar, because the lithium batteries, I think I've said it before, from the solar they actually charge up quite a bit quicker than what our AGM's done. So sometimes our batteries are fully topped up by 11 and I'm generating all this free power. I might as well chuck it into the Jackery, and by charging it through an inverter I can charge the Jackery up quicker. We can also then charge all like our laptops, our projector, all our 240 items. So it's not to run items while we're in the van, just like living, because if you don't know, when you take something from 12 volt up to 240 volt back down to charge a phone or something, that's kind of pointless. But for some items, especially for extra storage power in the jackery and whatnot, just to have that capability is just an added bonus for us. So yeah, that's why we've put the inverter in. Probably won't use it much. We don't intend to run coffee machines and electric cooking stuff because it just drains too much power. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope this video hasn't been too boring for you. Just a couple of little upgrades, a couple of little thoughts on where we're going to go, like the suspension and things. And don't worry, if you feel like the videos are lacking a little bit of je ne sais quoi because Emily's not in them, don't worry, because next week...
I'm back, baby.
She's back.
So if you've missed me in the videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because next week I'm bringing some fun back.
We're going on a trip.
Woohoo!
See you next time.